Or are we good? I think I had Senator Guerin. Did you need something before we go live?
Well, I was just going to thank Representative Sylvester for basically tabling the public hearing, because that was a concern of mine. So thank you for that. And we have already caucused on the question of moving that to another committee. So we would be ready for a vote on that after some discussion. So I don't know if you'll want to stay, Senator Rafferty, for that.
Do you want to do that first then?
I think we could do that first, and then I'll do my, yeah.
Okay, great.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you. So Representative Bradstreet, and then analyst Steve.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I want to also thank Representative Sylvester for offering that motion. I guess that when we're in session, then we'll hear the motion. Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. The public, we've already heard from a couple of constituents or from interested parties who are wondering how they should testify on a bill that they haven't even seen yet. So I think if we proceeded with it, it would be an unfortunate precedent. And I'm glad that we're doing what we're doing to give the public, everybody in the public, a right to see the bill and to study it and digest it before we do have our public hearing. So thank you for that.
And I will endeavor to be better. And remember everything all the time. My wife will look forward to
that. And she's going to hold you to it because you just announced it.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So a couple of things. I don't know how this works procedurally because obviously we had advertised this bill as a public hearing 2 weeks ago, so it's already appeared in the newspaper. So I know that once it's advertised, you can't formally cancel the hearing. So it might be that you take testimony today and then you let people know that perhaps you're thinking of having a second public hearing. I don't know what the procedure is for that. I'll have to check with my internal office and everything about that, but you might need to request permission to have a second public hearing. I don't know that off the top of my head. So that's what I want to say on that issue. But the second issue is the re-referencing. So I think the re-referencing, if the chairs and leads agree, like 3 out of the 4 agree, then you don't need to have a formal committee vote. So it only goes to the entire committee for a vote if there is not a majority of the chairs and leads that agree to re-reference. So if 3 or 4 out of the chairs and leads agree that the bill should be re-referenced, then no further action is required from the committee as a whole.
And Steve, do we need to do that publicly, or can we do it like right? I mean,
you can do whatever you like. I mean, it makes sense to at least, I guess, announce publicly that the intent is to send the bill elsewhere in case folks are tracking it and following it. Especially since I think we're already live on YouTube. So I think it makes sense to just kind of announce that there was an agreement about the bill and that it's going to go to the Education Committee.
I would prefer, Senator, to do that on mic.
Okay. Thank you. Are we on, Alyssa? I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't say good morning to anyone yet, so, but I'll go through that. All right. Well, thank you. So, good morning, folks, and welcome to the Joint Standing Committee on Labor and Housing. The committee is meeting again electronically, still working out some bugs relative to the electronic piece, which seems to be going a little bit better today than our agenda, which we are adjusting as we go along here already. Just before we get started, I just wanted to share some information related to this. The fact that it is going to be conducted electronic format. We have attendees in the meeting, and then some of you folks are joining on YouTube. It means that anyone who is actually a participant, right now those of us on screen, via Zoom, They can be seen and also heard if their microphone is unmuted. If those of you that are on the Zoom meeting waiting to testify, you can't be seen yet or heard until you are called upon to speak. This meeting will be recorded and available to view on the committee's YouTube channel soon after this meeting has concluded. And just also a little reminder, there is a delay. So if you are in waiting, and then our clerk, Alyssa Thompson, she's going to invite you in, move you in to participant. There is a delay in that, so don't get nervous. You will come through. In a moment, I'm going to have the committee members introduce themselves, but just as a reminder, again, if you're going to speak, and even us, I have to look at my own. You just want to make sure that the name that you signed in on is the name that we see on your screen, so that we'll be able to identify you. You know, in my case, it says Senator Joe Rafferty, as opposed to Joe's iPad, which is a possibility. So just that we would like to know who we're talking to when your opportunity to do so comes up, okay? I'll start with myself. My name is Joe Rafferty. I am a senator in District 34, which includes Acton, Lebanon, parts of Berwick, North Berwick, and then over through Wells and Kennebunk. Good morning. My co-chair, Representative Sylvester.
Thank you, Senator Rafferty. My name is Mike Sylvester. I represent District 39, which is the Eastern Peninsula portion of Portland and the Fighting Islands of Casco Bay. And we proved it is possible to grill in a foot of snow. We had a lot of wind.
Very good. How about Senator Guerin?
Good morning. I am Senator Guerin, representing Southern Penobscot County.
Thank you. Representative Bradstreet?
Good morning. I'm Representative Dick Bradstreet. I represent House District 80. That's made up of part of Augusta, Somerville, Windsor, and my hometown of Vassalville.
Good morning. And Representative Cuddy?
Good morning. My name is Scott Cuddy. I represent House District 98, which is Winterport, Frankfort, Searsport, and Swanville.
Thank you. Representative Drinkwater?
Good morning. Representative Gary Drinkwater, District 121, representing the towns of Alton and Argyle and Corinth, Hudson, and the finest town in the state, Milford. And way to go, Tom Brady.
Representative Gear?
Good morning, Tracy Gear. I represent House District 9, which is Kennebunkport and the coastal parts of Biddeford and Kennebunk.
Thank you. Representative Morris?
Good morning. I'm Representative Joshua Morris. I represent the towns of Center, Leeds, and Livermore. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Pebworth?
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Sarah Pebworth. I represent House District 133, which is in the Blue Hill Peninsula and includes towns of Brooklyn, Brooksville, Castine, Sedgwick, and Surrey.
Thank you. Representative Prescott?
Yeah, I'm Dwayne Prescott. I represent House District 17, which is Waterboro and part of Lyman.
Thank you. Representative Rader?
Hi, I'm Amy Rader. I represent District 125, which is a portion of Bangor.
Thank you. Representative Warren?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm Representative Warren, and I represent my home district of Scarborough Coastal District 29.
Thank you. I've mentioned our clerk, Alyssa Thompson. She'll be our electronic manager today. She'll be our electronic Tom Brady, I guess. We also have with us this morning analyst Steve Langland. Steve, and perhaps joining us, I mean, a lot of folks go from meeting to meeting, but we also have some analysts you may see present at some point. Rachel Tremblay and Lucia Nixon. This morning, we do have.
Hey, Senator.
Hey,
I believe we have
Representative Brett.
there's a senator, another senator on, I think, is with us now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Representative Miramont, thank you.
Hey, I'm Dave Miramont, Senator for Senate District 12, which is Knox County. The county seat is Rockland. Thanks. Welcome to everyone who's here.
Thanks for pointing that out, Representative Bradstreet. So this morning we were scheduled for two bills, and those are LD. No, I just wrote them down. LD 29, and of course I had my to-do list, and here we go. Joseph, well done. I don't want to make a mistake because I've already done that. LD 29 and also 182. And due to a little bit of confusion, we're going to hear, I guess we will hear both, I think, on LD 182 and Representative Sylvester, followed by Senator Guerin. Mike. There you go.
Are we taking up Representative Paul House's bill first in order to make a motion?
Well, I was just trying to explain that, and I think we're just going to, we'll reverse the order.
And were we going to discuss LD 52, the education bill?
I think that let's, easier, I think, to do 52 first, followed by 182, and then we'll get into 29. Senator Guerin.
So I lost the feed there for a minute, but what I wanted to say was I think on the concept draft bill that we do have the ability as a committee to table the public hearing. I know Steve thought he needed to look into that, but just from past experience, I do believe we can table that. And that's what
while we talk about 52, I'll give Steve a chance to give that some thought. My only, if we had to, I was thinking we could listen to the bill and then not ask any questions, but I'm not sure that's appropriate. So I'll let, there's some folks on our committee with some experience. I'll let them think that through, that process through, and we'll come back. Steve.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so typically when this happens, what occurs is the chairs typically, obviously, if we were in person, they would kind of give leniency toward people that had traveled to testify on the bill. Obviously, it's a little different in this virtual world, but what would happen is there are folks signed up to testify, so it might be worth having them testify. It is a concept draft, but there is a concept surrounding that, of course. So the committee might decide that they can take those comments and they can either have a second public hearing, or they could schedule a work session and give more leniency at the work session when there is specific language surrounding the concept draft. So I don't know the correct answer, but what I've seen in my observations of being in committee is typically the people that are scheduled to testify are still given that opportunity, even though there was discussion about not allowing that today.
Representative Sylvester.
I would agree with Senator Guerin that I've seen this precedent more than once for different reasons, sickness, inability to, travel. And then also when a hearing had gone extremely long and the committee was wanting to adjourn for the day. So, after like 8 hours of testimony, and so While our reason is a little different, I believe that we have the ability to postpone it. If we open the hearing, then I would agree with Steve that we would need to get permission in order to do a second hearing. So what I see on the list of testimony is the Department of Labor and Ms. Knox, who is a professional lobbyist. And so I don't see any of the public here to testify on that bill. And so I would make a motion that we move to postpone.
I would second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? Representative Bradstreet, you had a hand up there, sir.
Took my hand down because I was going to second the motion. No need to now. Thank you.
All right. So in terms of discussion, I think that tabling it does make sense personally, and only for, I'm sure, anyone that's here to testify. Should they be unavailable to do so in the future, they always have the option of sending in written testimony, which we would weigh at that time. So any other discussion? Okay, Alyssa, I think we'll do a roll on this one. Roll vote, please. So Mike, want to repeat your motion?
I would move to table this public hearing until such a time that we have full language.
Okay.
Is Representative Paulhouse here?
Yeah, I had promoted him. I thought we were taking up and then we moved to discuss LD 29. So he's just kind of hanging out.
Would you mind promoting him just to make sure that that's okay with Representative, since it is his bill?
He's right here.
Thank you.
He looks like he's going to say something.
Representative Paulhouse. Can't hear him. Good morning.
We can't hear you, Representative. I don't know if your volume is down or if you're muted. It doesn't look like you're muted.
Yeah, I'm not really
I can't hear you yet, sir. No.
Looks like we couldn't hear the bill even if we wanted to.
Well, now for technical reasons.
He's agreed.
Representative Paulhouse, are you good with this motion? Very good. Let it be known that Representative Paulhouse has signaled yes.
And my apologies, sir. Thank you very much for understanding. Alyssa, would you do the vote for us, please? The roll?
Yep. Senator Rafferty?
Yes.
Senator Rafferty, yes. Oh, I probably should have said the motion. Motion by Mike Sylvester to postpone, seconded by Guerin. Senator Miramont?
Yes.
In order to register your vote, unfortunately, I have to have your camera on as well. Thank you.
Sure, I forgot. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Representative Bradstreet?
Yes.
Representative Cuddy?
Yes.
Cuddy, yes. Representative Drinkwater?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Gear?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Morris?
Yes.
Representative Pebworth?
Yes.
Representative Prescott?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Rader?
Yes.
Yes. And Representative Warren?
Yes.
Yes. So the yeas have it unanimously.
Alyssa, I believe Senator Garrett and myself still need to vote.
Oh, I apologize. I thought because you guys did the motion. Representative Sylvester
Yes.
and Senator Guerin.
Yes.
Yes, I apologize for that.
And again, Senator Paulus, thank you for your understanding. Have a good day. Next up, there was some discussion to a request to have LD 52 moved from labor to education. Would anyone, Representative Sylvester? You're muted.
We don't need a formal motion, but I would agree, I would vote yes on that, as the 3 of the 4 chairs need to vote yes in order to.
Yeah, I need the, okay.
Yep,
I
so
would
that's
need,
just my comment on it. It's not my formal vote, it's just my.
Thank you. Hands up, Senator Guerin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I actually think that this is a labor issue. It is dealing with contracts, and I think it should stay in this committee. So I would vote to have it stay in our committee.
Okay. Representative Bradstreet.
Yeah, I concur with Senator Guerin. I do think that is a proper Labor Committee bill. Thank you.
Okay. And Representative Drinkwater.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Seeing how I was on education and heard this the last time it came up, I would really appreciate if we could keep it in labor so we can hear it again. So I would be in favor of keeping it with labor.
Okay. Representative Sylvester.
I would move to table this motion to a later date.
And Representative Guerin, Senator Guerin.
I'd second that.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Senator?
I see a hand up. Yes, sir. Senator Miramont.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, I'd never heard a motion. I heard the co-chair talking about a motion, but was a motion made that we're actually voting on?
Yes.
Okay.
Senator Sylvester. Representative Sylvester, you got me rattled this morning.
So Senator Miramont, I think that if there was agreement, then we did not need to make a formal motion. I probably didn't need to make a tabling motion in order to do it. I just felt like it was, it might be proper in the situation, but we do have a motion on the floor unless you think it's improper.
No, sorry, I missed the
reminder-
motion. I was just making sure we had it. Its propriety is not my concern at this point. Thank you.
Just a reminder that tabling motions are not debatable.
Any other discussion? Do we need to do a roll here, or is it, can we do it by a show of hands? Representative Sylvester.
I was just putting up my hand to,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's
So
okay, if we wanted to do it that way.
is that an indication that we can do it by hand, sir? Yes.
If you feel you can see everybody, then yes, we can. And if Alyssa
And
feels she can.
everyone would need to physically be on. So Senator Miramont, we're gonna have to see you, but I gotta take a question from Representative Bradstreet first, please.
Senator, there's no discussion on a tabling motion. You just have to go ahead and vote.
Thank you. All those in favor of tabling? Show of hands. Lower your hands. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, it carries unanimously. We'll table the movement on that discussion on LD 52. I get something right. There we go. I got it out of there. Thank you. Moving on then, the only thing that's on our agenda will be LD 29. And seeing that I will speak as a sponsor, I'm going to leave Representative Sylvester as the chair, and I will step into the role as a sponsor. Thank you, Representative Sylvester.
Thank you, Senator. And using my coffee mug as the gavel, we open the hearing on LD 29, an act to confirm the Maine Apprenticeship Program to the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1972. This is a public hearing. This is a time in which we hear testimony from the public. Once again, this will be done electronically. We will, folks who are waiting to testify, we will promote you to an active speaker's role when you are called. And we look forward to hearing that testimony today. We now welcome our own Senator Rafferty to the virtual podium to present his bill.
Good morning, Representative Sylvester and distinguished members of Labor and Housing Committee. Thank you for the opportunity to address you this morning in relation to LR 29, an act to conform the Maine Apprenticeship Program to the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1972. I'd like to share a little bit of background on the proposal and why it is necessary. The U.S. Department of Labor updated its equal employment opportunity in apprenticeship regulations in January of 2017 to reflect the 24th century workplace and changes in EEO laws. The goal was to position registered apprenticeship programs to grow and meet demands of industry while ensuring adequate, updated protection of equal employment opportunity. The bill proposes required statutory changes to ensure conformity with federal EEO changes to ensure that Maine Department of Labor, as a state approving agency, and help sponsors of apprenticeships reach a larger, more diverse pool of applicants. The last session, the department submitted the same bill. However, the legislature adjourned prior to action being taken. So we need to resubmit the bill in order to have it reconsidered and take this necessary action. I do have some folks from the Department of Labor available this morning that may offer more insight. If there aren't any objections, I will step back and let you hear from additional speakers before answering any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Rafferty. Are there any questions for Senator Rafferty on LD 29? Seeing none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And first on our list to testify is Kate Knox from Equality Maine.
Good morning. Thank you.
Well, how are you, Ms. Knox?
I'm well, thank you. Nice to see everyone. Senator Rafferty, Representative Sylvester, members of the Joint Standing Committee on Labor and Housing. My name is Kate Knox. I'm a resident of Portland, and I'm here on behalf of my client, Equality Maine, the statewide LGBTQ civil rights organization. Equality Maine was founded in 1984 following the tragic murder of Charlie Howard, a young man who was thrown off a bridge in Bangor just because he was gay. We have been advocating on behalf of Maine's LGBT community for 37 years, and we have more than 70,000 statewide members. Equality Maine supports LD 29 with one amendment. Section 2 of the bill should be amended to clarify that equal opportunity will be afforded to all regardless of their gender identity. As you probably know, in 2005, the legislature amended the Maine Human Rights Act to prohibit discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity in housing, credit, public accommodation, education, and of course, employment. The bill was signed by Governor Baldacci, and the law was upheld at the ballot box by Maine voters the following November. Last summer, in Bostock versus Clayton County, the U.S. Supreme Court held that Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protects employees against discrimination based on their sexual orientation or gender identity. Our statutes on apprenticeship should conform to both state law and the Bostock decision. Please vote ought to pass as amended on LD 29 with an amendment clarifying that equal opportunity in apprenticeships will be afforded regardless of both sexual orientation and gender identity. Thank you so much, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or provide any clarifications.
Thank you, Ms. Knox. Are there any questions for Ms. Knox? I am not up. Representative Cuddy.
Thank you, Representative Sylvester. Thank you, Ms. Knox. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too as well.
Only over the Zoom. I'm going to keep calling it the Zoom. I will. So I just wanted to be clear. The bill is initially designed to bring us into conformity with federal standards, but what you're suggesting would keep us in conformity with state law and Supreme Court precedent. Is that right?
Correct. So I think that commonly, yes, that's correct. So I think part of what we have worked on, and this happened in the last session as well, is sort of modernizing some of these statutes related to sexual orientation and gender identity. So for example, Maine statutes for a long time had gender identity folded into the definition of sexual orientation. So to be clear, this is not a new protection. We're really modernizing and saying sexual orientation and gender identity need to be named separately because they are two separate concepts. And if you put them together, you're conflating gender and sexuality, which doesn't make any sense. So yes, this would further your goal of conformity with state and federal law by providing that additional gender identity phrase.
Excellent. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Knox? Representative Prescott.
Well, thank you. Do you happen to know what the state law is so I can look into it, or the statute?
Yes, so I can send you, I'd be happy to send you the Maine Human Rights Act, which is sort of where that core definition lives, where we have a definition of sexual orientation and gender identity.
And that's going to be an MRSA. It's actually.
Would you like a follow-up, Representative Prescott?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So now that y'all met me, yeah, go ahead, send me what you have, please, and I'll get back with you. Thank you.
I'd be happy to do that. Thank you.
And Representative Prescott, we have the Department of Labor testifying next as well, so they might be able to clarify some of that. Representative Drinkwater.
Thank you, sir. Sexual orientation versus gender identity. Maybe this is a question for the department, but somebody like myself, I guess I'm having a hard time seeing what the difference between the two is. If you could explain that, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah, it's not an uncommon question. So gender identity is, think of it as like the innermost concept of the self as male, female, a blend of both or neither. It's how individuals perceive themselves and what they call themselves. It can mirror the gender you were assigned at birth, or it may be entirely different. That's gender identity. Sexual orientation, on the other hand, is the inherent or immutable, enduring emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to other people. So it's basically who you're interested in dating and being intimate with. That is quite different from your gender identity. So someone can be transgender, is their gender identity, but they can also be gay, straight, bisexual, asexual, or a host of other sexual identities. Does that help? Or did I further further confuse you?
If I may follow up, Mr. Chair. Well, okay, I'll follow up. As far as we're talking about employment. So how does that all relate to employment? Like you was talking about orientation, that you have an attraction to a certain sex. And I guess I don't know how you would marry that to employment.
So really what we're talking about is Section 2 of the bill, which so the Maine Human Rights Act prevents discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. And I think that is the statute I'm going to send Representative Prescott, or DOL can talk about it too. And then Section 2 of this bill talks about equal opportunity in employment, which you can see as a mirror, and it starts to list some of the ways equal opportunity should be afforded. And what we're saying is by just including sexual orientation, you're missing another piece of the puzzle, which is gender identity, which is a protected status under the Maine Human Rights Act. So we're not talking about affording a new right. We're not talking about introducing gender identity here where it's not introduced other places. We're basically talking about just having it conform to current state law and Supreme Court precedent, which has said that the Civil Rights Act protects employees against discrimination based on gender identity. So we're really just making a suggestion to say, you want all of this stuff to conform. It's not a change in the law, which I think was what Senator Rafferty sort of introduced in the beginning.
Thank you. Representative Geer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just wanting to make sure I understand what the language in the bill will result to be based on this discussion. So where the bill now reads discrimination because of race, color, religion, national origin or gender, sex, sexual orientation, genetic information, or disability. The proposal is to, the proposed amendment would take sexual orientation and add to that gender identity. Everything else would remain the same. So sex would remain as a protected class. Just clarify.
Correct. That would be my suggestion. I certainly defer to your analyst, but my suggestion is that all you're doing, and maybe it makes sense after sexual orientation, is adding gender identity, since they are treated as separate definitions in the Maine Human Rights Commission definitions.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Ms. Knox? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Knox.
Thank you. Have a great morning.
Thank you. Next, we have Kim Moore from the Department of Labor.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, Kim, thank you. We appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
And I forgot to remind folks earlier, but I was running the clock. It's a 3-minute clock, and I'll be showing it in my screen for folks who may be testifying today. Thank you. You may begin. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, and good morning, Senator Rafferty and Representative Sylvester, members of the Joint Standing Committee on Labor and Housing. I'm Kim Moore. I'm the Director for the Bureau of Employment Services at the Maine Department of Labor, and we're here today to support LD 29, an act to conform the Maine Apprenticeship Program to the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1972. First, we would like to thank Senator Rafferty for sponsoring this bill. This bill seeks to conform the Maine Apprenticeship Program with current Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Act, or EEO, requirements. The statutory change in this bill is essentially a technical fix needed in order for the department to continue its crucial role as the federally recognized state approving agency running the Maine Apprenticeship Program, or MAP as we like to call it. The MAP program has nearly doubled the number of apprentices served within the past year. MAP currently has 110 registered sponsors and serves 198 employers who in turn employ 955 active apprentices. 58% of Maine's apprentices work in construction, 44%, or manufacturing, 14%. And 21% are employed in the healthcare sector. The demand from businesses interested in adopting registered apprenticeship to recruit, hire, and train a skilled workforce continues to increase. In fact, Maine Apprenticeship Program is currently working with 60 new employers interested in becoming registered sponsors. The federal government, in this case, U.S. Department of Labor, or USDOL, routinely issues updates to certain programs. Then the states who implement these programs must enact statutory changes to conform properly. The approval of this bill will ensure the department remains a state approving agency of apprenticeship, which allows the department to continue approving new apprenticeship sponsors, approving unique registered apprenticeship occupational programs, granting federally recognized certificates of completion to apprentices, and helping sponsors of apprentice reach a larger and more diverse pool of apprentices. In short, without the approval of this bill, the Maine Apprenticeship Program will be out of compliance with federal EEO requirements and at risk of losing our state approving agency status, which includes our authority and autonomy to provide nationally recognized apprenticeship services here in Maine. As you know, the Maine Apprenticeship Program is a critical program in the state's employment strategy and is in more demand than ever as a way for employers to gain skilled workers and who can earn a paycheck while learning both in the classroom and on the job. The program supports a fundamental departmental goal to build and develop a productive and competitive workforce here in Maine. We urge the committee to help us continue our work running the Maine Apprenticeship Program by approving these changes to the current apprenticeship statute. Thank you so much for your time and consideration, and I'd be happy to answer any questions now or at a future work session.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Appreciate you. I see Representative Bradstreet and then Representative Drinkwater. Representative Bradstreet.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for being here, Ms. Moore. A couple of questions, actually. One is this program fully funded by the federal government? And also, do you know if the bill as presented brings us into full compliance with the federal requirements?
The answer to, thank you so much for the question, Representative. First question, it is not fully funded by the federal government. There is a portion of general fund that is attached to the Maine Apprenticeship Program. And then your second, I would have to do a little bit of research to see if the changes proposed would still allow us to conform to the requirements that the Maine Department of Labor has presented to us. So I would defer that to a work session.
Representative Drinkwater.
Thank you, sir. We're 49 years late, and I know this committee's heard this, and most of these members have already been through this, but I'm just curious of what's the hurry? We're 49 years down the road.
So with regard to this particular change, so I believe that this is directly connected to a change that was proposed, I think, in 2017. So this is a language change. So not that far behind. We were in conformity up until then.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Moore? I have one quick one then, seeing none. So could you give us in an apprenticeship an example of how EO would work and how both the proposed change, the proposed amendment, and what the changes that we're making now would affect people on the ground? So I'm an apprentice, and so what sort of rights are we talking about here? What sort of situations might this help protect people's rights on?
Gotcha. So I don't know that this necessarily would change anything on the ground. We are in alignment with the EEO practices. This is simply a technical change. It's simply a language change to bring us into conformity so that we can continue to receive the funding. So I don't believe that this has any kind of change to our process.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Moore. We appreciate you. Alyssa, do we have anyone else waiting?
There we go. Those are the only two that had registered. I do notice that there's still one person left in attendees who had registered for 182. I'm not
Okay.
sure if he was wanting to speak and mistakenly registered for 182 or if he's just kind of hanging out watching. So whether or not we promote him would be at the discretion of our chairs.
Okay, at this point, we're trying to just sort of take the folks who are applying unless they reach out to us in some way and tell us they'd like to testify on another bill. So I think that we're going to call that everybody. And that will end the work session on LD 29. All right, folks, that is the end of our work session. We have bills sort of dribbling out to us, or our public hearings. We have bills sort of dribbling out to us the way it is right now. So we might get a couple light days here in a row before we start ramping up. Was there any other discussion before we call it a day?
Yes.
Senator Rafferty.
Representative Sylvester, please. Thanks. What if folks could do me a favor? I think I might have asked this, but I can't find the answer. Your best way of getting hold of you, whether it's your cell phone, your home phone, the best bet. So if I have to call you, can you share with me, please, at some time today by email or some other means, your best contact number? And I will love to get that so that, okay.
Alyssa, did you want to, you look
Yeah,
like you-
yeah. I have a list that I've been compiling. I believe as of this morning, I think I have everybody. I'll have to double check to make sure I'm not missing a person or two, but I do have an updated list of contact info that I can share with you, Senator.
Thank
Alyssa,
you.
Could you send that around to everybody just to make sure
Yeah.
that the information's correct? And then, right, that way we have the ability to chat with one another if we need to. That'd be great. Thank you.
It would be. And Alyssa, also hypothetically, if we were going to caucus today, you no longer do that, correct? I received the caucus link is to be using, or is that not gone into effect yet?
So as far as I know, I could end the stream and send you guys to caucus now. If you were wanting to like take a break and caucus at like 3 p.m. or something, you guys would have to figure it out. But if like both sides are wanting to caucus, I could send you all now. I just can't set it up for one side over the other.
Right. So Senator Rafferty, for example, we sometimes caucus before work sessions to be able to talk, or sometimes caucus, prior to public hearings if it's a big one. And so for that, we need to use a separate link that Alyssa couldn't help us. If it's part of a bill discussion or a policy discussion within the committee, I believe that's what Alyssa is able to do. And so, both parties are on their own in terms of trying to set up outside caucuses to discuss bills, but within the process of the hearing, my understanding is that that's when Alyssa would send us to side caucuses. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, great. Are there any other issues before we call it a day? All right, perfect. We appreciate everybody being here. We appreciate all your public service. And we will be here on Wednesday at 10 o'clock where we have another slate of bills. And hopefully we'll have great discussion then. We appreciate you, and we'll see you all on Wednesday.